Hello everyone, thanks for stopping by my channel. Today I'm coming on with a video as a follow-up to the BB Crafts unboxing video I did earlier this week. I ordered a few things from BB Craft. They sent me a nice selection of seed beads and some jump rings and head pins. I thought I would come on and show you a few things that I made using the supplies, and then I'll show you a few techniques I did for wire wrapping using a couple different methods. I'll just give you a brief overview of what BB Craft sent me. I ordered some seed beads. I really like the colors in here. And then I also ordered this container of seed beads in pink. And then the other two items I ordered was this pack of different size jump rings. The other one were these head pins that have the little gold ball on the end of them. This is everything that I received. I'll just show you some of the things that I made. I'll start with macaron bead dangles that I made. Some are just solid pink. Then I did a mixture of colors on this one. This one I did pink and white alternating. I did not use these 1-inch head pins because they're not long enough. So I did just pull some gold ones that I had in my stash to make these. I made a couple of larger yellow ones. I used one of the seed beads at the top and the bottom. Then I also made a couple of purple ones like that, using a couple of the purple or bluish color seed beads. Lastly, I made a couple of pink ones. And then I also did some individual ones using these head pins. So they're very tiny. I just used one of the beads. Cute little dangles you can add to any project. I'll show you a couple that I used making the small seed beads, and then I'll show you a finished charm dangle using everything. In this dish here, some samples of the bead dangles that I made. Let me grab one out. And I used 6 of these tiny seed beads, and then I did a loopy at the top. Here's some up with the red. They're very tiny. I almost forgot I used them to create the centers for some flowers. Here is a sample of how I use the seed beads in the center of my paper flowers. This is a new KS Craft die, the poinsettia die. I'll just show it real quick. And that's this one. And then use them as my centers. So I did use wet glue to do this because it dries really clear. I don't know if I would try mounding up any seed beads using hot glue. Here's one. This is like more mounded in the middle. So here are all the extra ones that I made. I want to show you the finished bead dangle that I made using charms that I put together. I left the extra gold at the top, and I just haven't cut it off yet. And I just put this pin on here just so I could grab onto it to hold it easier. It's one of the charms I made with the macaron at the bottom, and I used one of the 1-inch head pins that I ordered from BB Craft. So you see it's got the little gold ball on the end of it. So I was able to put those 3 beads on there and still use it. And then here is one of the tiny little seed bead charm dangles I made. My previous order from BB Craft, I ordered charms. So this is one of the gold charms that I had, and I added a couple on here. This one I had ordered off of Amazon, these white enamel ones. And then down here at the very bottom is another one of the ones I ordered from BB Craft last time. You can see throughout I added some of the macaron bead dangles and then some of the smaller seed bead dangles, and just kind of scattered them throughout. This one has some gold balls in the middle, and I did some fancy wire wrapping on that one. And then at the very bottom I added this charm here, and with a couple of seed beads and a loopy at the bottom. If you wanted to add an extra charm to the bottom of that, you could for sure. Let me see if I can, here is what it looks like. There we go. And I think you could probably even make it chunkier if you wanted to. And I wanted to show you a project using these jump rings. So I'm gonna go grab that. Okay, so I wanted to show a sample of how you can use these to make a chain. And let me show you an example. And it's one of these keychains that I made a couple weeks ago using this Chaos Craft die. And you'll see here that I added just a couple of links of the jump ring together as a connector between this large loop here and the key. And you can decide if you want to add charms to that. But I just think that's a fun idea that allows you to make a chain length and attach things to it. So I used that on I put the bigger loop here at the top, and then I added the smaller jump ring loops to that, and then attached the key to the bottom of it. These jump rings are open, and so you can take your needle nose plier, and you can take, this has 4 different sizes. So say you want to make a little bit of a chain length, and I'm just gonna take 2 of them the same size. You can see right here it's separated. Gently bend them open like that. And I'll take this one. I don't have to do anything with this one. And I'll just put that in there, and then I can close it. And let me get one more just so you can get an idea that it's creating a chain link. Just gonna bend it open a little. You don't have to bend it open much. Then I'm gonna add another link to this chain. Like that. Close it. And there you have your finished chain. And you can add however many jump rings you want together to make your chain length as long as you want. I'm going to now show you a couple different methods that I was using to wire wrap. All right, so let's get set up for that. So I'm going to do one that is a little bit of mint green and some pink. So I'm just gonna alternate mint green with the lightest color of pinks in here that I can find. So then I'm gonna put 6 on here. So that's 5, and then one more light pink. That's how long I'm gonna make my charm. The first method I am going to use is cutting this using this looper tool. And this is the 1-step looper, and this one is 2.25 millimeters. And this is very easy to make a loop at the end of your eye pin. Here are my beads, and I'm going to put this, there's a hole here. There's also a place right here at the top. So you want to place your eye pin straight through and make sure it goes into that hole. And then the end of my beads are on the left side of the end of the tool right here. I'm just going to make sure I have it like this, and then I'm going to push the tool in, and it cuts off the excess. And then here you squeeze the handle, and it's going to make a loop at the end of your eye pin. So I'm going to get that out of there, and I'm going to open it up and then gently slide it off. And here it makes a loop at the end of your eye pin. There's a slight gap at the top, so I'm just going to take my needle nose pliers and gently squeeze that closed, and then that made a loop. Then you can add your jump ring and add it to your bead dangle. And now I will show you, I'm gonna put the looper away because that was too easy. So this is a 2-inch head pin with the flat top, and I'm gonna make a bead dangle with 6 of these beads on here. I've got 6 beads on there. Now we're gonna try the wire wrap method, and I'm not very good at this. So just take your needle nose pliers like that, and then bend it down. I did not cut anything off of here. This is still 2 inches. So just bend that down away from you. Then you have like a 90-degree bend like that. Okay, so this is pointing away from you. Now you're gonna take your rounded nose pliers and put it here at the top. So just place this however wide you want your loop in your bead, the top of your bead. So I'm gonna put it about there. Then I'm gonna bring this part of the wire back over the top of it towards me and push down on it, and then push it all the way around. So I've made a complete loop, and then I'm gonna bend this like this, okay? So as you can see, it created a loop in the top. Okay, now I'm going to take my needle nose pliers and grab onto this. And push that down onto the top. Then you're going to use this excess wire here to wrap around the base here, that gap between the loopy and the top of the bead. Maybe you can go around 2 or 3 times. You can use other pliers with it, but just push it around like this till you've made 2 or 3 loops. I think like a softer wire might be easier, and then it's going to get a little hard, so I'm going to use other tweezers to try to help. So I'm going to go around 3 times, it looks like, and then I'm probably just going to go ahead and cut the rest of that off. I'm going to move the bead down because I could very easily break the glass bead. So just snip that off, and then you're going to have a little bit sticking out. So I would just take your pliers and bend that down just a little. And there is a wire wrapped bead. It does look pretty, and I know a lot of people like to do it. I prefer just the easy method. Now the third method I'm going to show you. Let me get some beads on here. Now I am going to go ahead and cut off about 1/3 of an inch off the top of this one. You're going to take the rounded nose pliers, and depending on how big you want your loop, you're going to the needle nose pliers where you want the loop to be. Without letting go, squeeze really hard and start bending your loop like that, and just try not to move the pliers up or down so that your loops are a consistent size, and you'll see it's creating a little loop-de-loop. So there is what it looks like. Then you can try to bend it up a little bit, and you have your loop. And now I think that's kind of neat to do it that method. So there's 3 different methods. I also wanted to show you how I use these 1-inch head pins with the gold ball on the end to make a bead dangle or a bead charm with the small seed beads. I'm going to pick out a color. So we'll just do one of these pinks here. I'm just going to put a few in my dish, like maybe enough for 1 or 2. And I'm going to close my container so that I don't accidentally knock things over and spill it. So I'm going to take one of these head pins with this bead on the end. I'm gonna find one that's nice and straight. So here's the 6 beads on there. I'm gonna do the wrapping method. So I'm not gonna cut any excess off. I'm just gonna take this tool and I'm just gonna start wrapping it like that. And then just pinch it as you're going along. And this is the perfect size for doing this method, I think. Okay, you can squeeze it if you want it to be really even. Oops, there we go. And there's the top of it, if you can see how that looks. Those are what I put on this bead dangle. Here's one right here. Right here. Whoops. Let me find one that I did that method of wrapping. Here's one. This one's not the greatest, but so you can see how I added the loopy to the jump ring and then added it to my dangle. That's everything I have to show you today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.